I remember watching this video a few months ago that elaborated on the eerie, unexplainable nature of Source games, where the video went into deep explanation on how and why Source games feel so uncanny, and I couldn't agree more with that video. As a person with 3,000 hours on Gmod, 154 hours on collectively all Half-Life games, 1,463 hours on Left 4 Dead 1, 884 hours on Left 4 Dead 2, and so on and so forth, that video really sat with me well because I understood that weird, creepy feeling you felt whilst roaming around in Gmod maps by yourself in Valve games. So now, why would I, a person who isn't scared of SCP-SL, make a video premise emphasizing the same uncanny feeling towards this game? Well, I can make a reasonably good argument that the same uncanny feeling in Source games can also shift over into SCP-SL's atmosphere as well. I haven't really seen anyone comment on how atmospheric the game can be when you are just walking around, and no one has really noticed how much ambience Northwood has put into SCP-SL because, well, you know. It is stuff like the mic spamming and the shit posting really makes a player say to themselves, well, this is a game based off of an unfunny community. I will also join in because, what the hell, am I right? No one really sits down and just takes a breather from the swampy chaos and just listen in on the atmosphere alone and in an isolated setting. With Source games, and that uncanny feeling you have whenever you play alone in a Gmod sandbox server, you can also say the same thing for SCP-SL. Whenever you play alone in a server with no people, i.e. you create your own server and just take in the ambience. Now sometimes I make videos trying to grab footage for trying to showcase items or showcase Easter eggs, like in the analysis videos or my Easter egg video, and whenever I'm no-clipping around the map by myself, it really is isolating and really is unsettling. I suppose you can say that about any SCP game for that matter. SCP Containment Breach also hits that weird spot whenever you're traversing alone in that game, and don't hear 173 or 106 or 682 screaming, and just hear D9341's breathing and the footsteps against the metal flooring. Undertow Games really did an amazing job with their ambience for that game, because walking around in it alone and unscathed really sets in an unsettling feeling. Because as the player, you think, hey, 173 has been a gigantic asshole to me this entire time, trying to twist my neck in ways the human vertebrae can't handle. Now I sure hope that when I open this door, he isn't there. And when you open that door and he isn't there, for me at least, I gain a worse, gut-wrenching feeling in my stomach due to not knowing where he is, and since 173 is a giant asshole in that game, it is even worse not knowing where that giant nut is. As 173 is the giant asshole he is and follows you around the entire time, it really sets in stone how scary it is to not know where he is, as he has been following you and just basically torturing you the entire time he's been following you. And so when you open that door, you expect him to be there, but he's not, and that is, like I said, worse than knowing that he's right in front of you. But SCP-SL is different in that regard of it being a multiplayer game. Yeah, sure, SCP Containment Breach multiplayer exists, but that doesn't capture the same feeling because that game is just... yikes. SCP-SL has been a multiplayer-based survival horror game since 2017, so when you take away all aspects of that said multiplayer experience, just like in Gmod, you gain the exact same unsettling feeling as you do in Gmod. Let me show you some footage of me just walking around in a dead server, escaping as a D-class, so you can really understand the same feeling I gain in this kind of atmosphere.
Attention, all personnel. The light containment zone decontamination process will occur in T-minus 15 minutes. All biological substances must be removed in order to avoid destruction.
As a player who commonly plays SCP-SL, I have been accustomed to constantly hearing some form of voice chat in the rounds, whether it be from screaming down the hall or a person saying some random bullshit on intercom. Then, like my analogy with SCP-173 and Containment Breach, it is a lot more unsettling when these normal things in the game that happen 24/7 do not occur. That is why when I'm roaming by myself in a server full of 30 people and I don't hear any of that for a good long while, I become very concerned. Before I even thought of this video and even started recording it, it even happened today before recording, when I was playing 939 on Cognities and I checked Light Containment Zone to find the last target, and because my team killed everyone down there already, it was just nothing but ambience. And it is something that should be implemented a lot more into this game, as it is an event that I try to look forward to due to being a source game enjoyer. So while I was walking through that facility alone, escaping as a D-class, I seriously had to remind myself that I was in a server alone and no one else was there. But because my brain is so accustomed to hearing the common stuff like mic spam and or screaming, it was unsettling and uncanny, which, same goes for Gmod. The player is accustomed to hearing some voice chat mumbo jumbo bullshit that overlaps the unsettling ambience in the map, which makes it less noticeable. But when you are alone in said map, that uncanny feeling shows itself more and more and more and more throughout wandering, almost exactly like SCP-SL. In conclusion, the only hypothesis that I can form in my head on why SCP-SL's ambience is honestly a lot more scarier than the game itself is because just the ambience and just the uncanny feeling that you feel when you are walking alone in this facility. Northwood could add as many SCPs as they want, but eventually at the end of the day, they are almost exactly like the other SCPs, and the real nail in the coffin has been and always will be the unsettling ambience in this game.